Wait, what even is self-care anymore? We hear the word everywhere, right? On Instagram Reels, TikToks, podcasts, and Pinterest boards. Self-care is skincare. Self-care is solo travel. Self-care is when you splurge on luxury. Self-care is selfish and whatnot. There's so much going on. But deep down, most of us don't actually know what it truly means. We've confused self-care with escapism. We've glamorized it, filtered it, and turned it into a checklist. And yet somehow we're still burnt out, anxious, and disconnected from ourselves. If you feel familiar with what I'm talking about, then stick with me till the end of this video, because I'm going to be breaking down 6 common misconceptions about self-care, and then we'll unpack what it truly means to be caring for yourself with examples, some psychological insights about self-care, and 5 practical tips you can practice on the go. But before we begin, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Nisha, and if you'd love to join me on this journey where we transform ourselves for the better, then subscribe and stick along. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Out of Niche with Nisha, for more content to level up your life. We struggle with self-care so much because psychologically, we don't believe that we are worth the effort we put in when no one else is watching. Think about it. Society praises hustle, achievements, and outcome. We are taught that productivity is the highest virtue and that rest, reflection, or saying no when you can't do something equals to laziness or weakness. According to the self-worth theory in psychology, many of us tie our self-worth to external validations. For example, work output, social approval, being needed by others, tying our self-worth to our parents' desires of who we want to be. So when it comes time to actually care for ourselves without an immediate reward or satisfying somebody else, we feel that it's not deserved or it's just a waste of time. Think about it. How many of us feel guilty when we just think about resting for 2 hours without doing anything? And let me tell you this, self-care isn't optional. It is absolutely necessary. It is an essential. And like many of us believe, it doesn't have to be complicated. So now let's bust the myths that are keeping you stuck. I'm going to share with you 6 common misconceptions about self-care. The first myth, self-care is expensive. No, it certainly isn't. It's just how social media and the society portrays self-care. Self-care isn't about getting that $500 red light therapy face mask or luxury getaways. Sometimes it's just closing your laptop 10 minutes early and then stepping outside for fresh air. Remember, real self-care is about the intention and it's not about the quantity of money you pour into something. Second myth is that self-care is selfish. Repeat after me. You can't pour from an empty cup. Say it again. You can't pour from an empty cup. Let me tell you, honey, if you have a priority list and you're at the bottom of your priority list, you're going to fail. You're going to fail yourself. You know what? Real self-care makes you more available, more grounded, and more present with yourself first, so that then you can be all of these for others as well. The third myth is that self-care is all about physical wellness. Well, that's partially true. I'm not saying you shouldn't work out, you shouldn't keep your diet, you shouldn't have a balanced meal. No, I'm not telling. Of course, all of these are really important for having a healthy body and a healthy lifestyle in your day-to-day life. But if you don't take care of your mental and your emotional well-being, if you're not spiritually connected with yourself, I'm saying you're not taking care of yourself. What about emotional boundaries? What about saying no without explaining? What about letting yourself feel your feelings? Aren't all of these important? Of course they are. And that's self-care too. And that's equally or even more important than just physical wellness. Myth number 4, self-care takes too much time. And I'm about to tell you that's not true at all. You don't need an hour-long morning routine. You don't need 3 hours in the spa or 3 hours in the nail salon to get your nails done and then call it self-care. Of course, all of those are good, but I'm telling you, you just need 5 minutes. 5 minutes of breathing, 5 minutes of gratitude practice, or 5 to 10 minutes of journaling to feel better and to care for yourself every single day. You don't need to spend hours in a spa or hours in a nail salon to get your self-care done in your day-to-day basis. Myth number 5, self-care equal to productivity. Well, this one is a bit tricky. Because nowadays we have started seeing care as something we need to optimize. It's about tuning into yourself without trying to fix something. It's about caring for yourself, the current version of yourself, so that you can step into the better version instead of trying to push yourself beyond your limits all the time to get into a better position at your workplace, or to have a better lifestyle, or to have more income. That is not self-care. Being super productive and hustling 100% of the time, ignoring the current you and the current needs of your body and your mind is not self-care. Myth number 6, you need to feel like it to do it. Well, self-care isn't about motivation, okay? You don't need to feel motivated to practice self-care. It's not about motivation, because motivation, my friends, is flaky. It disappears when you need it the most. So instead, self-care is actually about discipline, but with compassion. I know that you won't always feel like sleeping early or picking that journal and journaling every single day, but something that I do know is that your future self will thank you and will be super proud of you if you do it no matter what, because at that point, even if you don't feel like you want to stand up for yourself, even if you don't feel like you want to spend that time for yourself, you're still prioritizing your own self-care. And that is important. That means you're prioritizing yourself, and that means you're actually practicing true self-care. Let me paint you a picture of what real, sustainable, and meaningful self-care look like. It's going to therapy even if you think you've got it all under control. It's disconnecting from toxic relationships even if it means being alone for a while. It's putting your phone down even if the silence feels uncomfortable for a while. It's letting go of the guilt of not being everything for everyone. It's eating the damn brownie if that brings you joy without shame or guilt. Because you know why? Self-care isn't always cute. Sometimes it's crying. Sometimes it's asking for help. Sometimes it's doing the hard thing because it's aligned with who you want to become, even though it doesn't satisfy somebody else. It's about checking in with yourself regularly about how do I feel right now? What do I need right now? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Self-connection is what self-care is all about. It's that simple, but we do forget sometimes. Okay, I've got some powerful, no excuse self-care practices that you can implement on the go with ease. You don't need some fancy $50 journal, or you don't need that perfect lighting or a free weekend to implement all these. You just need yourself. Just try one today, and I promise you, your inner world will thank you later. The first practice is the 3-minute check-in. Close your eyes, breathe, and ask yourself, how do I feel right now? What do I need in my life right now? We spend so much time checking our phones, checking on others, checking our to-do list, but never checking in with ourselves. This mini practice reconnects you with your body, mind, and your needs. You can do this anywhere. You can do this while brushing your teeth, while waiting in a queue, or even during your work breaks. For example, if you're feeling unusually snappy at work, instead of pushing through, just pause, breathe, take a step back, and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What's going on here? And maybe you'll realize that you just didn't have your breakfast, and that's why you're feeling this way, and that you need to eat. And that's self-care right there. The second practice is creating the non-negotiable list. I want you to create a list of 3 small things that you must do every single day for yourself, no matter how chaotic your life gets. Remember, these are not for productivity, it's for protecting your peace. For example, 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. Drinking 1 glass of water every hour without fail. A 10-minute walk out in the fresh air. No phone right before bed. Saying no to things that you don't feel like doing without feeling guilt. Write them down, stick them on your mirror, or maybe in the corner of your desktop background, maybe in your phone wallpaper, wherever you feel like sticking them, just put it there. Keep viewing it until it gets registered in your brain, and make them your baseline. The third simple self-care practice is creating micro moments of joy. Joy isn't always fireworks. It's often found in tiny, repeatable moments. Think of this as a joy snack. Small, accessible things that spark a shift in energy. For example, putting on your main character playlist while cooking or cleaning, lighting a scented candle that's your all-time favorite, sending a 10-second voice note to a friend just saying that you're thinking about them, maybe a single bite of chocolate with your eyes closed and zero guilt. These moments might feel small, but they anchor your nervous system, so prioritize these tiny little moments in your day-to-day life. The fourth simple self-care ritual is compassionate self-talk. Your inner voice becomes your reality. The more you utter something inside yourself or outside, that eventually creates your reality. If that's the case, how you speak to yourself matters the most. The next time you find yourself being rude to yourself or you feel like you're letting yourself down, then ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? And if the answer is no, then you better don't say it to yourself. So instead of saying, oh, I'm so lazy, I'm not of any use, I'm stupid, say, my body is asking me to rest for a while. You see? That simple shift. When you find yourself asking, why can't I be like them? Why am I not as pretty as her? Or why am I not as intelligent as him? Stop right there. Stop comparing yourself to other people and say, I'm building my path in my own unique way. Because you were never put on this planet to be comparing yourself with someone else or to be competing yourself with someone else. The fifth simple practice is the messy but meaningful ritual. Self-care is not always tidy. Sometimes it's dancing in your pajamas because that's what's comfortable for you. Sometimes it's screaming into your pillow when you feel exhausted. Or sometimes it can be crying in the shower because you want to let out the stagnant energy inside you. Real self-care always gets raw. It's not about suppressing your emotions or not letting you feel the way you want to feel or not letting yourself to be the way you want to be. It's not about going to the nail salon and getting your nails done for 3 hours because you felt sad. It's about sitting with your emotion, acknowledging the underlying emotion and just being with yourself, just healing yourself, just giving yourself what you need emotionally and mentally as well. I'm going to give you 3 messy rituals to practice. You can pick any one and practice for yourself. Next time you feel messy and you don't feel like yourself, take your journal and scribble whatever you're feeling in it. Just pour everything you're feeling in it. Don't bother about grammar or the way your handwriting appears. The second messy ritual is to dance wildly for 5 minutes with absolutely no choreography. Because you know what? I just realized that so many of us are here who feel insecure to dance in our own rooms even when nobody else is watching. Even when you know that you're just by yourself in your room and you can dance the way you feel like, you still hesitate. You control your movements so much, you suppress all the feelings that you're feeling inside. You suppress all the expressions that your face want to express while dancing because you hesitate to show your true self even when you're just there in the room by yourself. Third messy practice is recording a voice note to your future self when you feel messy. So many of us face a situation where we feel like we are letting ourselves down. We might have imagined ourselves in a certain way in the future, but your current circumstances might not align with what you want to become and who you want to become. So you might feel like you're just going to give up. And at those times, just record a voice note talking to your future self, asking them for advice, asking them for clarity, and by the end of it, I'm pretty sure you'll reach a point where you'll be advising yourself right now as your future self, and you'll reach that level of clarity. And if you don't want to keep that voice note, you can just delete it later. And all these are what real self-care looks like. This is what will let you stand up for yourself when you need it the most. This is what will get you to a place where you never let yourself down, no matter what. And like that, we've come to the end of this video. If you liked this video, or if you found something that helped you today from this video, then please leave a comment below letting me know, because I would love to hear from you. Also share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this today. If you enjoyed watching this video, then I'm pretty sure you would enjoy watching this video and the other videos in the playlist as well, so give it a go. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, I love you all. Bye.